Hello there again. Okay, let me see. No. Wrong. Okay. Actually, hold on. I was watching that. I actually need to remember to watch that. So, what I do is, first off, you just launch Blender. It's not, you know. The best thing about Blender is that it's free and shit. That's why I'm using it for the most part. So, when you get in on Blender, what you want to do is go to motion tracking. Like, you press this button right here, choose screen layout, motion tracking. Press open down here, and then you fuck, did I delete the original? I hope I did not. uh, Let me see. Yeah, fuck it, I'll use another video. Let's take this for example, even though this is not the video that I originally intended on using, but I couldn't be a father to find the other one. So on Blender, it's actually quite simple. So what you want to do is set the resolution to the resolution of the video. For this case, I don't remember what it was. Hold on, let me find it real quick. It was 30 something frames, 1 to 30. I'm sorry about all this idle time, but I did not plan this well at all. So the resolution is 45882748. 458. Might be wrong. I really don't care. I don't care enough anyway. So what I do is you set the end frame. This is the length of the video. If you set it to anything more than the end frame, you're gonna end up with a lot of like. Hold up. You're gonna end up with a lot of like. See, there's gonna be a black screen, and you really don't want to do that. So always remember to set it to the actual end of the frame, like end of the video, so you don't end up with a whole lot of empty space. Well, not empty space, but you get what I mean. Again, set the frame rate. This is the scaling. You can set it to 50%, 25%, 100. I keep it at 50% when I'm editing, and then when I want to export it, I take it up to 100%. So what I do is that you have the clip thing. You see the track. You go to tracking settings. You set it to fast motion. So for the motion, it sets to location and rotation mode simultaneously. And then what you do is that you look. Hold on, I really need to turn off. Well, not turn off, but like at least tone down flux. It's fucking pestering me at this point. What you want to do is look for a location with a good amount of, contrast, and something that isn't moving. You want it to be stationary. You don't want it to move at all. Like, say for example, I'm gonna place it around. I'm gonna place a marker around here, I guess. And then I'm resizing it using this. It'll rotate it and stuff. If you touch any of these points, it'll warp them, not actually like rotate them or anything, or resize it. So keep that in mind. I actually did that once. Thing is, you kind of want to have more than one point. So what I'm gonna do is put another one up here. So what I'm doing is holding control and then clicking to actually place the tracker marker. Then resize it, because you wanna give it a little bit of leeway. You don't want it to be too small or too big, rather, because at some point it just can't handle how big it is. So right now we have our points, one here and one here. What we do after that is we go to track, and then press. Hold on, let me. Fuck me, I fucked that up. Thing is though, this frame is quite stable as is. Like, hold on. Let me play it out. Because you see, besides that, like, original rotation, there wasn't that much shape to it. Because even when you see here in this screen, there isn't that much movement, which is great because it's gonna be easy to track at the very least. Like, the software won't have issues Oh my god. Ah. Should really stop using these high resolution shots. Okay, so I'm gonna select the original track. It's fairly centered on the original track. Like you choose them from here. I like to choose both of them, and then the other one is also pretty damn good as is. Cause I initially like I had it played on to the end, and I forgot to reset it back when I placed the markers, and I thought because usually sometimes it'll fuck up because of that. So after this is you press this track selected markers, and it'll just track them because like if you notice here the red marker thing. Hold up, let's do that again. Just see the red and blue that highlights that highlights how the thing is moving. You can see here too. This is the offsets that is moving in order to correct for the for any movement in the frame. And obviously there it's done for both. What I like to do is like go here. This isn't necessary, but I like to check how much of an error there was between them. As you can see, there wasn't much reprojection error, but this isn't really necessary. Just forget about that. I just do that just as a peace of mind kind of thing. What you do afterwards is you scroll down here. You go to 2D stabilization. You check 2D stabilization. You press on rotation, and then you press the add selected tracks to 2D translation stabilization. You do it for both. Then press this automatically scale footage to cover utility areas when stabilized. This will help like leave your video not put it out of bounds. It'll crop up the video to a crop that won't allow the video to put transparency layers in there. Like there isn't any empty space. What you want to do later is that afterwards is go down to display and you click on display stabilization. You see how it added borders around that? That's what the 2D. No, the 2D is to put to show what to tell the thing what to use as a tracking measure. But that's what the auto does. The auto crops down the video, to borders that it won't actually go out of borders. Now let's replay the video after being stabilized. You see how the video doesn't actually shake or move anymore? It's all stable and stuff. Obviously, the more tracking points you have, the better it's gonna be. Because you can place a tracking point here, you can place another tracking point up here. As long as that it has nice contrast and it doesn't actually move itself, as in you don't put a tracking point on a cloud or on one of the bobs, I don't know, they bob anyway. Fuck it. But yeah, don't do that. As long as it's nice, you give it a little bit of leeway. You don't make it too big or too small. Because if you go too big, it just won't even be able to render here. And if you make it too small, what the hell is it tracking? Like if you notice here, there's a bit of a leeway here and here. There's the contrast from the dark areas and the lighting from the window, and that helps it quite a bit. And I like to put the marker, I like to center the marker on something special, because this golden thing, if it ever fucks up, I can always track back to it on my own, like this. Because sometimes you're gonna have to fix it, and whenever the thing stops, you can always come back here to fix it. Fuck, that was using this video wasn't actually a good idea because I can't show you this because I actually got it right for the most part. But if it ever fucks up, you'll see it'll turn reddish here, and one of the markers, whichever one fucks up, is gonna turn red. And depending if you have the markers highlighted from here, it'll stop the tracking until you fix it. Say this one fucked up, right? And it's giving me red here. I can always go back in here. You can't adjust it from here, by the way. You have to go through here. And see, you can adjust it on your own. It'll let you do that on your own. And that's actually quite nice because sometimes the software does fuck up and it'll mess up stuff. But yeah, after that, I like to turn off anti-aliasing because I already applied sharpening on my end, and I don't need that for high resolution videos for the most part. You go to output, you change you know, the destination of the video where it's gonna render. Again, resolution, set it up to your video's resolution, 100% scaling, so it doesn't actually reduce the resolution. And frames, don't forget to set these frame rates depending on what you set them. Like, try to keep them consistent with what you did with Photoshop. Output, I don't fuck with like performance, post processing, or anything like that. You go to output, PNG. You go FMPEG video. I like to select black and white. I'm not sure if it does anything, but uh, it's kind of like gets it out of my mind. I like to change the control from Matroshka, which is like the MKV format, to MPEG-4. You know, MP4. Code H.264. Medium quality, high quality. Sometimes I export it to high quality if it's a low resolution, but if it's like high res like this one, fuck it, medium quality. Nobody's gonna notice anyway, right? So that's it. Now what you want to do is you press this, the current editor type for this area. You want to change that from this to node editor, and it'll give you this canvas, this empty thing. And then you choose the node tree type to display and edit. This right next here, right here, and you choose that. And then you say, and then you press use nodes, enable the compositing node tree. It'll show you these two things. What I like to do is like I'll delete this, the render layer, because it's like rendering this thing. Fuck that. You don't need to use that. I press Shift A to bring up the add menu to add nodes, and then I go to input, movie clip. That's the one that I added initially. I'll move this here. I press Shift A again, search. Then I type 2D. It'll give you stabilized 2D. And what I like to do is add a viewer thing. And then what you do is like you see this image node, you take that and you drag that to the image node here. And you do the same to the composite, from the stabilized to composite, and then from the stabilized to the viewer. What this does, the viewer does, is that this will actually apply this will be the stabilization, and this will actually apply it to the render. What this will do is that when you press render, the animation button, it'll actually show you what you're doing. Like here, it'll show you the frames rendering, and you can actually see what it's doing, and not it's not just fucking up. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this because I already have this done. I don't really need it. But yeah, that's it. That's the whole process. Yeah, fuck you.